Without a doubt, one of the key findings in this year's Capital Staffer Index this year was the absolute explosion in the use of Twitter by members of Parliament communicating with constituents and vice versa. We found out that 53% of members of Parliament and Congress are now actively using Twitter as communications tools to reach their constituents. And that's up 15% from just last year when it was just 38%. The other thing is we ask about effective means of communicating with members of Parliament and Congress. And what the staff told us was that Twitter, once again, was absolutely a critical way to reach them. This year, Twitter was at 41% in terms of those as an effective tool for communicating with the members. And that's up from 2009 when it was just 7%. That's a 600% increase in just 3 years. So I think the big takeaway is that Twitter has arrived in its mainstream as we operate in the public affairs arena. The role of Internet in shaping and forming policy is more important than ever. And what we found in this year's Capital Staffer Index was that 60% of the staff that we interviewed had actually learned about an important policy issue for the first time online. So it's helping to educate. But in addition, it's also helping to energize these staffers, because we found out that 33% of them have admitted to actually changing a position on a policy issue based on something they learned online. What's more intriguing is from 2009, when we first asked this question, it's up from 19%. So it's going from 19% to 33%, which is a huge increase, and just demonstrates how pervasive the Internet is in terms of what we all do in the public affairs arena. When we asked the senior staffers this year, what changes a policy issue to a policy priority, 95% said two things. Number one, the impact it has on the national economy in which they were operating, or number two, what is the impact it's having on my constituents. So what this told us was the importance of grassroots and advocacy was more important than ever. And when we looked at that a little bit closer, we said, how do we use the most effective means for conducting grassroots campaigns, advocacy campaigns? And it came down to nearly 90% said you have to make it personal. It's got to be personal in terms of the outreach, either in the form of letters, through online communications directly to the members, or through actual visits. When we asked them what are the reasons that most campaigns fail, there were two overarching reasons. 21% said poor messaging in the campaign, and 13% said limited grassroots support. So it really demonstrates the importance of building advocacy into your campaigns to deliver success.